My name is Rhonda, and I'm Egyptian American. My parents are originally Egyptian. I was born in the U.S., lived in the U.S., but also really grew up in the Middle East. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 19 years? No, 14. What? I need to do the math. I started teaching in 2002. Yes, oh my God, 19 years? Is this 19? Is my math working? So before that, I used to work in the corporate world before I switched. And I currently live in Dubai, and I've taught in Cairo, Bahrain, New Jersey, and now Dubai.
Yeah. So you have a passion. Can you tell us a little bit more about the passion, the thing that you do outside of the school building?
So I've picked up triathlons almost 3 years now. It started with, I was doing CrossFit stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm not losing weight. I need to do cardio, but like, I need to run. I need to do something, but I'm not going to wake up and run. So I met people who did something called Ironman. I'm like, what is that? They're like, we swim and we cycle and we run. I'm like, that's it. I need to do that to lose weight. So during the summer, I found a group that just did that. They trained every day. So I joined them and I started swimming. I started training. And then later on, I met a coach. I was worried about my knees because I have a problem with my knees. So I met a personal trainer at Fitness First that I absolutely loved. He had 5 knee surgeries. He played football. He had done an Ironman. I'm like, this is it. You're training me. You're my hero and role model. So months into it, I'm like, do you think I can do it? Do you think I can do Ironman? He's like, what question is this, Rhonda? You just sign up and you do it. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I signed up. You sign up way early. So I signed up on my birthday in October for February, so 6 months earlier. Was training, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make it. This coach isn't good enough, so I looked for another coach, worked with that coach, but then I had signed up to climb Kilimanjaro in December, but that I did before signing up for the race. So I did, climbed it, but busted my knees on the way down. So that coach was like, Rhonda, what did you do? I'm like, what? I just climbed the mountain. He's like, well, now, like, okay, you're going to run in the water. I'm like, I'm going to run in the water and then go run half a marathon? He's like, yes, that's what horses do. They, like, when they have an injury, they just, their rehabilitation is in the water. So I ran in the water for 2 months and then did the first Ironman. And that was it. The minute I crossed that finish line, it was, I am doing this forever. The thrill was unbeatable. It's just something else. It's like you work for something, and you, when you're there, you had never dreamed that you would get there.
So you originally started this journey in an effort to lose weight.
Yes.
And ended up picking up a lifestyle that you now train for pretty intensely. How often do you train?
I train every day. If you count the gym, I train every day. I train every morning. So, for example, I'll run Monday and Wednesday morning and Saturday. I'll cycle Tuesday morning and Friday morning. And then I'll swim 3 times a week. But then you also need to go to the gym, because if your muscles are not strong enough, you can't really do the other things. And a lot of people don't go to the gym, but then they get injured doing the other stuff. So I'd say once or twice a day.
Okay, can you take us through one of your workout routines?
Okay. Like, what do you do?
So it's a morning. What does that look like for you? You wake up at 3 a.m. and then you go do
Okay, got it. Okay. So just the like normal stuff. If you're training for half an Ironman, which is about a 2-kilometer swim, 90-kilometer cycling, half a marathon, what you would need to do is train about 12 hours a week. So I usually wake up at 4, start at 5 because it's really hot and because we're teachers. So if you're a teacher, you've got it the hard way because you have to be at work really early. So you have to start even earlier. So I start at 5, finish at 6:30, be ready to head to school. So I have all my stuff, I shower, run to school, finish. And then if I need to do something else, like go to the gym afterwards or swim afterwards, then I have my stuff in the bag and then head there, done, do anything in the day, work, whatever, and sleep at 8 to wake up again at 4.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So that's awesome. So you train every day with one part of your Ironman. Are you always working towards the next Ironman, or what is your motivation for continuing to train so hard?
Great question. So COVID was a real test of the motivation. So triathletes always aim for a race, and there is a season. So like in Dubai, when the weather is good, starts getting good, like in September, the season starts and it ends when it's hot. So the season is about 6 months. So everybody trains for that season, and there is a race or more every weekend, and you're constantly trying to beat your time every race. Ironman is like the Mercedes of races because it's the longest. So the different races are different distances. Ironman is the longest. The full is a huge endeavor, which takes about 12 hours. So that needs intensive training. People usually do the half. So for example, Dubai's half Ironman is in Feb, so everybody usually trains for Feb, but then people use it to travel the world. So it becomes your next destination. So if you're gonna do a race in Brazil, then you go do the race and then you explore the country. When COVID hit, there were no races. So if that was your motivation, you stopped, and a lot of people stopped. But I think the real motivation every workout is to do something you were not able to do before. It's like either maybe a new time or a new heart rate or a new distance, or it's just something that you were not able to do before. And I think that's the thrill of it. You don't have to wait to the race. You can kind of have it right there and then when you do that workout. I am the kind of person who likes the challenge. I like to suffer a little bit to kind of achieve something. And that is my motivation. One more thing is, in my mind, like when I do this now, I see myself healthy and fit and able to do other things 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I see myself looking better every year, like the older I get, I'll be well, like whether it's healthy or looking good or eating well, or it kind of, so every time I'm doing a workout, I see myself better.
Good segue, because I was going to ask you, what is your diet?
My diet.
What
nutrition.
What is your nutrition habits?
Okay, so they came a long way from where I started. So when I started, I didn't know better. I just ate anything and everything. I didn't know what I was supposed to eat. And then what happened, so I used to make my own food, but I didn't know much about it. And then I realized I don't have time to make food. I don't have time to make healthy food. I don't even know what is healthy food. I don't know how many calories I should take. I don't know anything. So I'm gonna give that to someone who does. And I signed up for meal plans with a company where the nutritionist is a sports nutritionist, just by luck. And he kind of calculates the macros, which is like how much proteins, how much vitamins, like the carbs, and portions it into meals. And he just delivers the meals 5 days a week. I have learned a lot from him. So for example, I used to eat way more carbs than I needed, right? Like the amounts of carbs are like nothing compared to what I used to eat. I eat a lot more vegetables now. Fruits. If I want dessert, I kind of switch it out with dates or something that is plant-based. So I guess I'm moving towards more plant-based than ever. Anything white, I try to avoid, like rice, flour, salt, sugar. I do sometimes eat it, I love it, but in comparison to what I used to eat, it is way cleaner.
All right, so you mentioned, I want to know more about what your best time was and then what you're working towards now.
Ooh. So again, I'll go to Ironman because Ironman is like the snapshot. It's like the same race, the same year, the same race and the same time. So you can always compare. So the first Ironman I did the worst Ironman I did was 8 hours and 15 minutes, and the cutoff time was 8 hours and 30. So I barely made it. The first Ironman race was, I finished it in 7 hours and 45 minutes. And my best time was the following year, and I had changed the coach and I had changed my nutrition, and I shaved off an hour, which was like, I would have never dreamt it happening, I would have never dreamt of it happening. So I finished it in 6 hours and 50 minutes. This time it was a disaster because it was hot. After COVID, I wasn't fit. I was skipping training. I wasn't really as consistent as I should have been. So it wasn't the best time ever. But now my goal is to beat my record, which is 6 hours 50 in August in Astana, Kazakhstan. And I had been training for I want to do a full Ironman just for once. I trained for South Africa in March last year, but then it got postponed because of COVID. So
you've been doing half Ironmans thus far, and then you're going to move to a full Ironman.
I trained for it. I was ready to do it last March, but then it got postponed. So whenever it's on again, I have to train for it again.
And how long is the full Ironman?
So in terms of time, the cutoff is, I want to say 18 hours. The cutoff is 18 hours. I don't know because most people finish it in 12. I'm guessing I won't, but I will finish it under 18 hours.
That is an amazing goal to have.
It's a 4K swim, 180 cycling, and a marathon.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay. So my ask is, what 3 tips would you give somebody looking to just change, I'll say, their lifestyle? Because I think hopping into an Ironman is a lot for most people, for your average people. But for the goal that you started out with just simply just wanting to lose weight and then getting the bug to just make this an entire lifestyle, what advice would you give to people, 3 tips for them just wanting to change their lifestyle and be invested in it as you are investing in these Ironmans and to keep up your daily nutrition and health?
1, you have to have a goal. You have to aim for something, and you have to kind of sign up for something that you can't back off from. So then when you have your downs, it pushes you back to do it. Whether it's a competition, like before triathlons, I used to do obstacle races. That was my goal, right? But you sign up for an obstacle race, you have to go. So you have to kind of like do your thing to be able to do the obstacles. You have no way out unless you're not going to go. So have a goal, and you have to enjoy it. It has to be something that you enjoy. Or you kind of make yourself enjoy it. For example, running for me is very hard, but I knew it was the best way to lose weight. But I love music. So every time I download a couple of new songs, so I'm excited about listening to them to run. So I distract my mind off of the running by looking forward to the songs I'm going to listen to. So set a goal, enjoy the process, which kind of includes the mindset. So you have to have a mindset of it's not always going to work. But then when it doesn't work, you have to question and you have to reflect. It's like, okay, how do I make it work? How do I make it work? What's not going well? Otherwise, you're going to give up and you're not going to do it again. So I'd say those are the 3 things.
That's wonderful. All right, so can we follow you anywhere? Is there any social media that you have where people can follow and support you in your next journey?
Most of the stuff I put when I put it, but I always feel like people are going to see the same thing over and over again, is Instagram. So I've got like some stories, especially the hard races or something that happened that is different is on Instagram.
Tell us your Instagram name.
Rhonda, RHONDA KOTV. That's it.
Awesome.
Is it dot? No, underscore. Well, it's Rhonda Cott. You'll find it.
Awesome. Anything else? Any last words?
Any last words? If you ever think about triathlons, an advice that a physiotherapist gave me was get yourself a good coach. Don't think you can do it on your own. Invest in a good coach, and there has to be chemistry with your coach. Your coach needs to be able to motivate you. Set a budget for sports massages, and that's not like, I don't know what salon you go to, but a proper sports massage is kind of key, and I learned it the hard way because with my knee issues, at the beginning when no one told me that, they would, I developed something called an IT band because it's pulling on my knee, and then the hips got tight, and then you're really running with very bad form because your leg is all tight, and you don't know that. But a sports massage person who knows what they're doing will kind of help you recover. So you have to really recover, and you need to sleep enough. Sounds silly, but you need to sleep enough and you need to eat enough.
That's great information. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for interviewing me.